cheese and placed on a fresh baked Italian roll. The General Store on 24 in Lewis.
Headlines you can't get through your day without. On Power 101.7.
All right, a lot of stuff going on this morning. Jess, what you got today?
Here we go. So the FBI's execution of a search warrant at former President Donald Trump's house in Florida on Monday came after authorities believed that Trump or his aides had not returned all the documents and other materials that were the property of the government. This is coming from the Washington Post and CNN. They are both reporting sources as saying that officials believe that the documents had national security implications. Investigators met with Trump's attorneys earlier this year, and the source said that there was suspicion that after months of discussions that Trump's representatives were not being completely truthful with them. Trump is now blasting the investigation and the search as politically motivated and meant to hurt his potential second run for president in 2024.
Okay.
Also, Albuquerque police yesterday.
I tell you what, though, just backing up to that story about the FBI and all this, people are like, we're so divided. It's so crazy, but there's certain people who are like so angry that he got raided, like their hero got raided. It's so wild. Like people are butt hurt. Like,
well, Governor
it's
Hogan
affecting
issued
their
a statement
life
about it, and I have that coming up.
Well, what did he say?
I'm going to tell you coming up.
You're doing stories in between?
Yes.
All right.
All the headlines first, and then I'll go to local.
Yeah.
But I know that you
How
will
is that local?
appreciate.
Okay, yeah.
What he has
Governor
to
Hogan
say.
said, good. Okay.
All right. So, making the headlines, this is trending. The Albuquerque police announced yesterday that a 51-year-old man is now behind bars and charged with killing 2 Muslim men in New Mexico City, and that he has also been suspected of 2 other murders there. The suspect, Mohammed Syed, is himself a Muslim from Afghanistan who's been in the U.S. for about 5 years. Police were looking into possible motives, including, quote, conflict within the parties. The latest victim was killed on Friday, with the 3 other men being murdered in an ambush of shootings. 3 of the deaths were within this past week, and the 4th one took place last November. So a complete investigation into that, and we will fill you in. Now, federal health officials approved a plan yesterday that will stretch the nation's limited supply of the MonkeyPox vaccine. People will be given just 1/5 of the usual dose, with it being administered in an injection just under the skin instead of into the deeper tissue. Research does suggest that reduced amounts is effective as the usual dose, and injecting just under the skin may rev up the immune system just a little bit better. 2 shots would still be given 4 weeks apart. Robert Fenton, the White House monkeypox response coordinator, called this newly approved dosing safe and effective. The step acknowledges that the U.S. currently doesn't have enough vaccine for everyone seeking the shots, as monkeypox has been rapidly spreading and has infected more than 8,900 Americans so far. Make sure that you look up into the sky tomorrow night. This is going to be your last chance to see the supermoon. It occurs on nights that the moon moves closest to the Earth in its orbit, and therefore it looks the biggest and the brightest. And this is going to be the 4th one and the last one of 2022 that this will happen. Also, it's a buyer's market out there, so it's finally turning into a buyer's market for home hunters. The number of homes for sale nationwide did grow at a record pace for the 3rd consecutive month in July. This is according to the monthly housing trends. The number of active listings did increase by 30% in July, and the trend is suggesting that home buyers will soon have more negotiating power over the price. But the increase in supply is a direct result of the higher interest rates on mortgages, and that could also sideline some buyers. Now, the police here locally in Rehoboth are looking for a suspect after they assaulted a juvenile. According to police, the assault took place on the westbound sidewalk of Rehoboth Avenue in the area of the bandstand just before 10 p.m. on Monday. Following a verbal altercation, the suspect reportedly approached the victim from the left side and punched him in the face, knocking him to the ground, where then he continued to punch him. The suspect then fled west on Rehoboth Avenue. Police say that the victim sustained injuries. The suspect has now been described as long brown hair, wearing a white t-shirt, gray shorts, dark-colored socks, and athletic shoes. If anyone witnessed this incident or if you have any information at all, you can call the Rehoboth Police Department at 302-227-2577. You can also contact Delaware Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIP-3333, but the picture is now trending online. And here we go. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan did issue a statement, and he is calling for transparency from the Biden administration following the FBI raid on former President Donald Trump's primary residence in Florida. He says even before yesterday's events at Trump's house, America was already dangerously divided, he stated. He says these are unprecedented circumstances that does require transparency and accountability from our government institutions. The American people deserve to know all the facts as soon as possible, and I am calling on the Biden administration to release, at a minimum, the documents authorizing the FBI search. Governor Hogan warned that without proven justification, this action is only going to further divide the country. If the federal government cannot ultimately provide overwhelming evidence that action was absolutely necessary, then it will only undermine the faith in democracy and the rule of law and further divide Americans. Now, as we know, dozens of FBI agents executed the search warrant at his home on Monday morning as part of an investigation into the former president's alleged mishandling of classified documents. But Hogan is coming out saying that this is only going to undermine the faith in democracy and the rule of law, and it's only going to further divide Americans if they are not shown the proof.
You know, it hurts people's feelings so bad that they raided his home in Mar-a-Lago or whatever, that they had people outside of Trump Tower in New York protesting. I saw.
Oh gosh.
I mean, there was a group they're holding church out there,
losing it.
Yeah, losing their minds, their heads are going to explode because they're that's the number one priority.
Wow. Now, I did hear another report this morning that stated that they did find the paperwork.
They did find what they were looking for? Yeah.
I don't know if they found everything.
But they did find something.
But they did take stuff.
Wow.
So.
Well, and Governor Hogan couldn't be more right that, people should know to kind of realize, and I believe that was what was so important about these January 6 hearings that we're on, because, if one person who wasn't sure or kind of just realized oh wow, this is kind of serious, this is crazy, then it did its job. But there are people who are so blinded and do not
now
want,
this investigation,
they don't want to change their mind. They will. It doesn't matter. He could the previous president could go out and do something illegal right in the middle of the street on camera, and they would still say, well,
right.
Well,
yeah. Well, this investigation has been taking place for months now, and they've been trying to figure out the handling of this material that apparently he took when he left the White House. And they went and they got it, whatever they were looking for.
Well, is what it is.
Now, when the FBI goes in and they're approved to do a raid, it had to come from a judge that they had proof.
And it was the judge who he appointed.
It was a judge
who Trump appointed.
Said, okay, well, the judge said, without a reasonable doubt, that they had enough proof.
Yeah.
To say, yes, you can go in and raid the home.
But again, it was a judge who Trump appointed.
Okay. Well.
So that's even another bit of info that's kind of crazy. When the FBI comes involved, it's something.
Yeah.
It's not politics, it's the law. It's the truth. So, real quick, couple quick local stories that I wanted to mention. Apparently, yesterday, according to the Dispatch, news broke that there's going to be emergency overnight repairs to Route 90.
Oh.
So last night, they closed Route 90 overnight from 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. So it's 6:48, obviously, so it's now open. But they had to fix some guardrails or something. So it was closed. I don't know if it was closed all the way till 5, if they ended earlier, or what the deal was. But it was closed last night, Route 90, from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. And that was on westbound Maryland 90 in order to replace a damaged guardrail, is what they're saying. So there you go. That was in the news. And then also yesterday, U.S. Coast Guard were on the scene of a grounded yacht in the bay south of the Route 50 bridge. So there was a yacht that was pretty much stuck in the water. But then a little while
snap.
later, they said that they set the yacht free. I guess when the tide came in.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
Oh, jeez.
But no, it was not Catch 23. Just FYI, it was not Jordan's. Hey, 6:48. It's a Bill and Jessica show. We got sports up next. Here's Tiesto, Ava Max, The Motto.